Sorry about that. Got canceled in the middle of it. But what happens? What happens to these celebrities once we've dragged them through the mud and we've sullied their name? Nothing begets this situation. Nothing happens to these people but a damaged reputation. So I need people to understand what you do to your own culture when you quote unquote cancel people. Now, we haven't heard so much from these people that have been canceled since this happened, Doja Cat, all these other people, but we are mentally breaking these people down. We are going after and literally belittling our own when we do stuff like that. So I just want you guys to really, really think about what happens when you guys belittle people and you create this canceled culture out there. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their voice. Now, let me preface this by saying not all of the people that are quote unquote getting canceled are people that have just made one mistake. Some of these people are repeat offenders, and some of them are saying some real outlandish, disrespectful things. But I still believe that if you don't like what they're saying, if you don't like what they're doing, just, speak your piece, let it be known as an individual, and then move on. But just putting out the words, that person is canceled to me. They're canceled. It just seems like a trend that a lot of people jump on because they see that hashtag and then they go on with it. So I just want you guys to be very careful, be very mindful of what energy that you're putting out in the heat of the moment, because you say things and you do things out of spite, out of anger, that do cause harm to other people. And like I said, pictures have surfaced. So many things have happened to this young lady. And I just feel sorry for her at this point because they'll drag you through the mud. Prime example, B. Simone. B. Simone mentioned that she wanted a CEO type of guy, that all she wanted, she didn't really want a guy that worked a regular 9 to 5. That's her preference. That's her preference. If she wants to date somebody that's exactly like her, she had to go on IG several times to explain herself to people, because she feared losing, the career and everything that she's already built just for voicing her own opinion. She wants to date somebody that's a CEO, somebody that moves in the same circles as she does, somebody that understands her plight, somebody that understands, working to, being up at 3 o'clock in the morning and having to catch a flight to whatever. So, I mean, that's her preference. If that's the type of people that she wants in her life, if that's the type of guy she wants in her life, so be it. More power to her. But what was the first thing during this time? What was the first thing that we said? Oh no, she's canceled. I date somebody that works a 9 to 5 and I got money. So, and it's just like, listen, nobody deserves to lose everything that they've worked for just because, somebody doesn't like the opinion that she has. If that's what she wants to do, then by all means, that's what she wants to do. God bless her. Everybody doesn't feel that way. But instead of saying, you know what, I respect your opinion on that, I just don't feel the same way. Or just move it along altogether and just not saying anything. But what did everybody do? Oh, you're canceled. You're gone. You're out of there. We ain't got time for this right now. And to be honest with you, we really don't have time for any of this stuff, to be fighting or bickering with each other about any of it right now. All of it is really just distracting us from the real cause at hand and what we need to be doing. I have no time to beef with my sister. I have no time to beef with my brothers. At this point, it should be all love and support. And how do we get to the polls? How do we vote? How do we affect change? That's what my voice is saying right now. above everything. So I have no time to worry about this celebrity doing this and what they're doing. They get to go home and be in their crib, sipping champagne, doing whatever they do. But right now, for my brothers and sisters that are out there on that front line, doing what they do every day, for those that are really out there trying to affect change, I have no time to bicker with you. I have no time to argue with you. I have no time to sit in judgment on what other people are doing and how they do things. And to sit in judgment on their opinions, literally on their opinions that they are entitled to. Our energy that we're using are focused in the wrong place. We're too busy trying to go after people that if they're not a part of the change, if they're not a part of what's going on right now, leave that be. But what you can control is you can control your voice and you can control what you do and your part that you're playing in this. That's what you can control. We need to get back to being individuals and speaking our mind instead of having somebody speak it for us and make the decisions for us. That one's a big one for me. Everybody, like I said, everybody that knows me knows that I'm big on my voice, my thoughts, my opinions, my poetry, my music, everything. It's an expression of who I am. It's what I do. And for me, it's always about love. And so I can't participate with other people tearing each other down like that. So I don't particularly believe in the cancel culture to a certain extent. There are some people that absolutely need to get canceled, especially with all the races, just like the man that had the machine gun in his hand, howling out racial slurs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he definitely is on that list for sure. That's what you focus on. Those are the people that deserve that type of energy that we give. But for little comments and stuff like that people make that has nothing to do with what we're in right now and people dying every day at the hands of police, those comments have nothing to do with what we have ahead of us, what needs to be done. So I can't sit up there and get upset and down somebody for having their own opinion. That's their opinion. If everybody on this live right now had an opinion about something that was going on in the world, something, that's happening in their life, so be it. But I'm not going to sit up here and be like, oh, no, you cancel. Big bruh, you cancel. I ain't got time for that. So I just think that we're so used to that particular type of culture. And maybe it's the millennials or whatever. You can blame it on whoever you want to. But I just think at this point in time, we have to really, really understand what we're doing as a people, what we're putting out there, what we're perpetuating out there. What are we passing down to our children? What are we passing down to future generations to come? The statement that's being made right now is a big one. And that's going to affect what's to come in the future. How we deal with racism, how we deal with, with death, how we deal with having to have uncomfortable conversations. Yesterday, I watched a black man have a conversation with his son about the perils of what's going out there in the world. And I've watched a couple of these now. What's going on? It tears me to pieces to have to understand why a black man has to have an uncomfortable conversation with his son about why police are killing us. Or why did George Floyd die? Why did he die? To constantly see people in tears, to constantly see how this has affected his family, as well as others. But it's that time. It's time to have the uncomfortable conversations. So for all of the people that watch or listen to Speak Your Soul or that's watching out here right now, God bless you. A lot of you guys have children, you have families, and I know you guys have had to have some really tough, uncomfortable conversations in your house about this very thing. What do you tell them? What do you tell your son when they see images like that? And I know a lot of you have tried to shield it away from your children, but sometimes you can't. With social media, you can't avoid it. You can't, it's out there. You can't deny that it's out there. So what do you do? How do you have these conversations? It's hard. It's absolutely difficult. So I just need people to understand, mentally, we're getting fatigued because we see so much happening. They're still reporting fake news out there. They're still making it look like things are being tweeted. These things are happening and they're not. So going back to what I talked about yesterday, like really, we have to make sure that we're educating ourselves. And if we have a voice, that it is our own individual voice that we're speaking, and not letting anybody influence our thoughts and how we think and how we operate. I love myself enough to realize that I can't follow and do what other people are doing. I love myself enough to be an individual, to stand on my own word. And my word means everything to me. And so right now, I just think with the climate, it's just everything is so heightened. A lot of people are frustrated at what's going on, and they're taking that frustration out on everything that they see. And I get it. There's a lot going on. You don't know who to trust and you don't know who to believe. But I will tell you this, as I told you guys last week on last week's episode, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable to affect change. And so right now, the biggest thing is voting. The biggest thing is getting out there and voting. And let me tell you something. If you want to know that the powers that be don't want to see unification around voting, it's serious. When you have people that have been standing outside of a poll for hours upon hours, waiting to vote, and literally weren't able to vote until after 8 o'clock at night, after they had been sitting outside for 5 or 6 hours, that's serious, people. They don't want you to vote. They don't. They don't want you to get unified. They don't want you to get registered. They don't want you to do any of it. Because they know if we get together, we band together in anything, and we're successful in it, then we can really make a change and we can really make a difference in that. More conversations are being had in light of the current events. Exactly. It's a game to distract you. We get from 1 minute to the next, instead of focusing on the task at hand, the peaceful protest and everything that needs to be done. Something else happens. Oh, let me divert my attention over here. All of it is a diversion. So if it has nothing to do with what's going on right now, I don't even pay attention to it. I just tune it out. And I think that's what's happening right now. Now we're starting to get these little diversions coming out. And now we're starting to see people, it's getting more and more difficult for you to register to vote. It's getting harder and harder for you to actually show up at a building to vote. Because the plan is you were never supposed to get to this point. I need you to understand that. We were never supposed to get unified and get organized and go out there and vote. It was never supposed to happen. So now that they're like, wait a minute, they're actually organizing to go vote. They're actually getting out there and vote. Now they don't know what to do. So at this point, keep your eyes on the prize. Everything that's happening right now, all these other stuff that's going on right now, it's all a distraction. It's a diversion. Because now all of a sudden funny stuff is going to come out there. Now all of a sudden, stuff that little celebrities are saying here and there, that stuff is going to come out to you. I could care, don't get me wrong. I care about what's being said, but all of it to me just seems like it's a diversion. What Terry Crews said, Doja Cat. All these people have been nothing but little bitty distractions to keep you from getting out there, protesting, sharing information, talking about it, having these conversations with your family. All this stuff is a diversion, which means absolutely nothing to me. But it's funny how we can just take something and run with it. I need you to use that same energy that we give all these other medians to give back into finding, making sure that we find out what's going to happen to the people that are still have not been charged in Breonna Taylor's death. There's so many other things that we can be doing right now to help. And like I said in the previous live, everybody doesn't have to be or is not built to be on the front lines marching and protesting every day. Everybody's not built for that. But there is something that you can do, especially if you have any type of platform. I challenge anybody that has a platform. If you want to have your voice heard, by all means. But as far as people having an opinion right now, that's the least of our issues. That's the least of our problems or concerns. People are going to have an opinion. They always do. That's what social media thrives on. It's big business to have an opinion and say something to rile people up on social media. There are people that get paid to do this. More power to it. You get paid to rile people up and say stupid stuff on social media all day. That's your business. But I can't be concerned with that. I have to move on. We are right in the thick of where we need to be at. Organizing. Supporting. There's so much still to be done. And one of the things that I will highlight and say, because I know I've been kind of going off recently, but one of the things I will commend is that Black-owned businesses, B.O.B., you guys have come out in droves. The support is there. I think we've listed from people that have their own podcasts to people that have their own, make their own clothes or have their own clothing lines. I applaud you. This is your time. And so I've seen more support for those that, it's everywhere. People that have their own Black-owned law firms. People that have their own, like I said, podcasts, engineering, art. Just the support for all of these Black-owned businesses or just hair care products are just coming from everywhere. As a matter of fact, if there's anybody on my live right now that has their own Black-owned business, by all means, tag yourself. Put the name of your business in there because that's what Speak Your Soul is about. It's for promoting. It's to help also promote people in the arts, people that have their own businesses, helping and uplifting each other, showing love for one another. So by all means, Speak Your Soul is one of those platforms that it's always about love when I get on here. I do this because I want you guys to understand that this is what's happening right now. I'm not running away from it. I'm not shying away from it. But I need you to understand and educate yourself. Everything that's put out there on social media is not for you to respond. It's just to get your attention enough for you to be like, okay, I guess everything's over with now. I guess we good. We good. All right, regular scheduled programming. Let's move on. And then we're getting off of what we initially started. We've got the momentum. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it moving. But it's not going to get to where it needs to be if we don't support each other, if we don't help each other, and stay focused. Stay focused. It's amazing to me how those people were waiting outside in Georgia to vote for hours. I need you to be smart people. I need you to educate yourself and understand. They don't want the organization. And they see so many people. I have a friend that keeps constantly organizing peaceful protests. More power to him. God bless him. Because whatever's happening, whatever's going on, he's going to continue. He has tunnel vision. He's staying focused. He's making sure that he gets this information out to the masses. And I applaud him for it. Amen. Thank you. We need people like that. Like I said, everyone serves their own purpose in this. Everybody's not meant to be the chief or the general or the sergeant of this. Some people are behind the scenes working, not saying a thing, and those people are to be commended because they're staying focused on making sure that we get justice, that we stay on task, that we're out there voting, that we're affecting a change. And somebody walked up to me and was just like, you know what? I don't really think that anything is really coming of this. Oh no. Oh no. Something is coming of this. I posted on my Facebook. There's a nice long list of all the things that have already happened during this time frame. Changes that have already been made. And so I need you to understand, things are happening. Change is happening. But we can't stop and be complacent with the little things that we see that have happened. We have to keep going. We can't be complacent with with some of the laws being changed. That's a good start. But that's not where we want to land at. So all these things that are being put out there for us, that are these little distractions, trying to get you to get upset or frustrated about what this person is saying or this opinion that this person said, you can focus your energy on where it needs to be, on some of the things that are just absolutely blatant. But people just voicing their opinion about something that has nothing to do with what's happening right now, I could care less. That's energy wasted. So the cancel culture, what do we do once all these people are canceled? People that you paid money for and that you put on this particular pedestal, what happens now once they're canceled and gone? All we've done was tear down more people that could be helping out with this cause. That's it. And some of you guys are going to real extreme lengths to tear people down right now out of frustration and anger. Channel that energy into something else. Get a group together and go make sure people are registered to vote. You know, go help out in the community right now. Clean up some of the damage that's been done. I have to commend Carfrey for getting out there and cleaning up, trash and stuff like that, on the streets in Dallas. Right? That's the stuff that you pour your energy into right now. That's how you help. That's how you get stuff done. And if nobody comes to help you, then do it yourself. All it takes is one. So I need you guys to truly understand. You can't be concerned with fads and trends and, people saying little stuff like that. It's to get you off your focus. It's to get you off, what's going on in the world right now, especially since George Floyd's funeral was yesterday. So people are like, out of sight, out of mind. He's been put to rest. Okay. Yeah, his body has been put to rest. But we still have to continue on. More and more videos of more people that have died by a policeman's hands is surfacing on a daily basis. And then that's just that circle just moving, turning. So many people that did not have a name are now starting to surface in the wake of all of the deaths that have happened. More people that have died by the hands of the police. So people, this journey has just started. It's just begun. I'm not telling you to go out down to City Hall and beat the streets every day and protest every day or whatever. I just need you to understand, we all have our part individually in how we affect change, having the uncomfortable conversations. If you want to counsel somebody that's against you, that's not for you, that's not an ally in this. That's who you cancel. All this entertainment and all this other stuff, it's not for us. I can't be concerned with it. What I can be concerned is the love for humanity and the love for you guys. That's what matters to me. Everything else is not of my concern. Making sure that we get out and vote. Make sure that we show up. Make sure that we're staying focused. Make sure that we understand mental health and that we're taking care of ourselves. That's a big one. That's a huge one for me. Because through all that's going on, the killings, the shootings, COVID-19 is still out there, people. The number in Texas is rising on a daily basis. It's not going away. So I need you guys to understand. Stay focused. Understand what's going on. Educate yourself. The rest of that stuff is for your entertainment. Somebody having an opinion, woo, okay, perfect. But we have to stay on task and we have to stay focused with it. So with that being said, I'm going to close today's episode of Speak Your Soul. This is episode 13. You can also listen to this episode on Anchor, anchor.fm/speakyoursoul. Well, I'm going to have to save that for another time, Fat Mac. You said I got a few things to discuss with you. That you can definitely come on. I'll bring you on to next week's episode. I'm getting ready to close this one down, but I just need you to understand, I love you guys. I love every single last one of you that constantly get on Anchor or Spotify or Apple podcast weekly basis. I appreciate you guys more than you could ever know and ever imagine. Thank you for giving this a voice, for helping me get a voice or find my voice in this. And I just want to make sure that I do you guys proud. And so with that being said, you can always check me out on Facebook, on IG, SY Soul Podcast. I'm also on Snapchat and I'm also on Twitter. If you guys have any questions or you want to talk to me about something, if you want to talk about mental health, if you want to talk about anything that I've posted or said on this particular platform on Speak Your Soul, by all means. And like I said, for those that are interested in any of the products or the shirts or any of the things that I wear going forward on Speak Your Soul, please hit my inbox and I will give you the name of that particular person. But as I get ready to wind down after this, I want you guys to check out Barbershop Talk with Jeff and Frey. That's coming on at 6 o'clock. For those that also, we want to carry this thing along. And I'm always big on supporting other people, other podcasts, other artists. So make sure to check them out after this and go on anchor.fm/speakyoursoul and check out all the previous episodes up until this one. This is episode 13. But thank you guys once again for your love and support. And as always, don't forget to speak your soul. All right. Love you. Peace. You guys be blessed.